Seems to be the mic is working. My name is Eugene Holubnyak. I'm a director of Hydrogen Energy Research Center at School of Energy Resources in University of Wyoming. So School of Energy Resources is a unique place at the university's campus. We are tasked with our mission is energy-driven economic development for the state of Wyoming. And we are, unlike other academia entities, working on very applied projects that we're basically bringing to market. We are trying to cross the valley of death. We're going from the sort of laboratory proven concept to more to try to commercialize this specific technology. And we are tasked to bring our energy portfolio to the next level. And with that, looking at our portfolio today, at our energy portfolio today, we can see that Wyoming is one of the prime energy producers in the United States compared to other states of the Union. Our primary export is coal. But we also export a lot of crude oil and natural gas. Also, we are very big on wind. But with coal and the potential and the possibility for coal going away as an energy source, and also moving those revenues from out of states from energy production, we don't like the situation, and we try to diversify our portfolio into hydrogen. Hydrogen is one of the things that makes sense for us, and we do like our property and severance taxes and federal royalties for energy production. So today, Wyoming is one of the leading places where hydrogen is produced. We have extensive infrastructure for hydrogen production. We don't have pipelines, but we do have facilities that produce hydrogen and hydrogen products today. Also, as I said, we have a lot of wind resource. Our wind resource is second to none in the United States, but with that comes a caveat that moving electrons out of states could be problematic. And so we think that utilizing hydrogen as one of the products that you can use to convert wind energy to some other forms of energy has big potential in our states. And some of those other forms are sustainable aviation fuels, methanol, and ammonia. So basically, this is how we think about hydrogen. And what I was hoping to talk about today is that those some of the additional components of hydrogen ecosystem that often are left kind of unattended. So people normally are not talking about them, but that doesn't make them less important. So some of the connections that is often missing is that connection between CCS, or high carbon capture and storage, carbon capture utilization and storage, and hydrogen. So one of the reasons to move into this is 45Q enhancements for carbon storage. And so if you have not heard about this, if you store 1 ton of CO2 underground, or you utilize it in your processes, you can get either $85 per ton or $60 per ton. And why it makes a difference for hydrogen? Well, there are several reasons, and one of them is that hydrogen production is energy intensive. And even if you use, as you see, there is a lot of discussion about 45V and using the use of 45V for hydrogen production. So if you use grid, and if you use grid and account for life cycle analysis, if you want to produce hydrogen, then you need to reduce your CO2 footprint. CCS is one of the ways to reduce this carbon footprint. Again, coming back to why exactly is needed. Well, any sort of hydrogen production will consume a lot of energy, and if you're using some of the conventional methods like we use today for ammonia production, steam methane reforming, autothermal reforming, your bill that comes from your production facility, 52% or more of that will come from electricity. And so we know that carbon intensity of ATR facility, based on this life cycle analysis for those kind of facilities, if you put CCS on your autothermal reforming facility, can be very much comparable to that of the wind and solar production of hydrogen. So considering all of those things, it makes sense to move on carbon capture and storage and move them and include them in the hydrogen ecosystem. Another big concern for us as we are developing hydrogen projects and as we see this unfolds on the ground is water consumption. And although water consumption by electrolysis production or any other production of hydrogen is not high compared to other consumers of water, we know that it is a sensitive issue, and our governor, Wyoming's governor, is opposing the idea of using water for hydrogen production because we are in the semi-arid place, and water is a big concern for us. But even in the states where water is abundant, it could become a big problem because water that will be used even for hydrogen produced from electrolysis needs to be very pure, and so you need to treat this water. And if not, there's a concern. If there's no concern about availability of water, there should be a concern about the water treatment. So here's a comparison of different technologies that use water in hydrogen production. That's autothermal reforming, steam methane reforming, and electrolysis. All of them are water consuming. The best in terms of water consumption is ATR, autothermal reforming, and the worst is electrolysis. So what else could be substituted for this hydrogen production and water consumption? Well, we think that water production from oil and gas, we can treat that water because since we are lifting it from underground anyway, and we spend all of this money and energy to produce this water, why not use it for hydrogen production? We understand that this is a costly endeavor, but we also understand that it could be done if the pricing for your energy product is right. We also know that there's such an example today for hydraulic fracturing of, for example, in the Permian Basin. This is roughly $4 to $5 billion worth of industry in Texas, where water is treated and then reused for oil generation. And so we think that could be the same case, could be applied for hydrogen production as well. Well, and the next case is workforce, because without workforce, nothing is going to happen. And so basically, these are kind of three themes that are combined together, create this necessary infrastructure for projects to succeed. So one CCS, I think, is important, and then water, of course, is important, but then the workforce. So where do you find people that will work on your projects? And there is substantial research that has been done on this. There's a number of DOE studies that are published. The first one that I could find is from 2008, where DOE talks about what kind of skills there needs to be, and also that the market growth of hydrogen is substantial, and there's 250,000 new jobs that potentially could be created by 2050 if hydrogen economy is about to move forward. There's also a number of new studies, and one of them is of interest in particular is from Rhodium Group, where clean hydrogen workforce development opportunities by occupation, and where this study is talking precisely about the occupations that are necessary to move this hydrogen economy together. So basically, here are the resources to look into this workforce needs. Here are some of the occupational types and salaries and the educational requirements that were done by another study that is referenced below, and you can take a look and compare to the DOE's roadmap and this, and also all the prior studies, and you see that there is a certain gap in this knowledge. And one of them is that it's not only the degreed professionals that will be needed, but also a lot of trades that are kind of not listed in the DOE reports. And if we overlook that component, then we'll have a huge gap, and moving forward without trades will be basically impossible, because who will be where can we find trained professionals who can weld in the presence of hydrogen and or for hydrogen specifications and so on. So this is a very important component that is often missing, and I think needs to be developed even more. And then there's additional concern with workforce. It's a workforce continuity. So I'm coming from, my background is heavily in CCS, carbon capture, utilization, and storage. And as you can see on the on this graph, the funding for CCS kind of came almost to a halt at a certain point. And when the funding for CCS started to decline, that also means that the workforce necessary to have a continuation of the program is started to move to other areas, because if there is no funding, then there's no salaries, there's no jobs, and then you have to move to a different, more greener pastures. And the idea behind this, and why I'm bringing this up, is that because of this today that existed in CCS space, there was a problem with continuity of this workforce, and it was a problem of finding new qualified people who could work on projects and move the space forward. And so if we have the same thing happen to hydrogen today, we'll lose the same amount of workforce, and it's going to be even harder to move today. So how do we move beyond the crisis, and is there a way to make the training and also retention of professionals within the industry kind of more sustainable? So that's an additional questions that we need to solve if we are about to move forward. Well, here are some of the kind of examples of what we are thinking and how we are moving forward to solve some of those problems on our small kind of end of the scale at the Wyoming scale. So we're working on number of projects that are trying to solve some of these problems. For example, we are working on desalination component that feeds into steam methane reforming to produce hydrogen. So we have a pilot scale program that is in place today. That same device that we'll build, that same project could be used to test new technologies, but also it could be used to train the workforce, train students, but also train trades personnel and basically build the new generation of people who can propel the hydrogen space forward. We also are heavily invested in developing a workforce for hydrogen production. There's a number of opportunities there, and we're looking into other aspects on how to move the space forward. There's additional, produce hydrogen, produce water is going to become a major problem, and so this is why we're heavily invested in one of those projects. So with that, I'll have time for a few questions. Please let me know if you have any. Yep. There could be a number of actually it could be. Sure. Okay. I'll do the. So The question is there a reason to extract hydrogen from fossil fuels instead of just burning them? Well, the number one reason to do this is to reduce carbon footprint. When you produce hydrogen in certain in certain applications, it could be more cost effective to capture CO2 in the process of producing hydrogen and move to hydrogen production. And then instead of just burning hydrogen, you can use it in applications like fuel cell. And then in this case, it could be a lot more energy efficient to use them in those specific applications. So it's not a direct kind of burn versus use hydrogen answer. Yep. Out of time? Okay, we're out of time, so just one question. Thank you.